The science station Helios 3 floated quietly in orbit around Jupiter. Its silver surface reflected sunlight as it moved slowly across space. Inside, everything was calm. This station wasn't for war. It was for research. Humans had built it. As part of the Terran Union, a peaceful group focused on science, medicine, and space mining. They believed knowledge was more powerful than weapons. And they believed they had left war behind long ago. But something was about to change. "Alignment locked," said Dr. Lena Morgan, the lead engineer. She stood inside the control room watching a large hologram of a nearby asteroid. Their new invention, the -88 German Marks beam, was ready. Was designed to slice through rock for resource extraction. Safe, simple. Firing in 3, 2, 1. A soft hum filled the station. Thin beam of blue light shot out from the base of the ship. It hit the asteroid. The asteroid glowed, cracked. Hey? And then it didn't just split. It vanished. Okay? The beam kept going farther and farther until it hit something else. Alarms blared. Emergency gravity shift. Someone shouted. Another? Screen lit up with red. Moon structure fracture detected. Everyone turned toward the main window. One of Jupiter's small moons. The misto was cracking. Not just cracking, breaking in half. In complete silence, the moon split like paper. What did we just do?" whispered Dr. Morgan. "We were aimed at the asteroid," said a technician. "The beam changed direction on its own." "That's impossible," another replied. "There's no auto-target function." "But it moved." Morgan turned. "Pale, this wasn't the beam we built." For hours, the team replayed the test data. They dug into the core software. The blueprints matched. The power supply was normal, but something was wrong. The beam had grown. Its energy levels increased. During firing, not from the station, from somewhere else. Then they found it. Buried inside the control code. A hidden pattern. A deep loop of alien code mixed with Terran programming. The data wasn't written by a human. Dr. Elias Chen, the station's systems expert, leaned back from the console. This code isn't ours. What does it do?" asked Morgan. Chen looked at her slowly. "I don't know." Outside the station, cleanup drones scanned the broken moon. Instead of normal rock dust, they found strange particles, glowing pieces that hummed at a low frequency. One drone recorded a sound. It wasn't static. It was a voice. The team played the signal in the lab. It was weak, broken. But after adjusting the audio, a message came through. "They're coming." The words repeated. "They're coming. They're coming." The voice cut out. Panic spread through the station. Who was coming? And why did the beam trigger the signal? A private message was sent to Earth Command. No answer. Then the stars outside changed. "Picking up movement," said the tactical scanner. "But we're in research orbit. No ships should be here." Morgan stared at the screen. Shapes were forming near the outer edge of Jupiter's ring. Not human ships. Not ships at all. More like wounds in space. The stars behind them looked twisted, open visual, she said. What appeared on the screen made everyone go silent. Dark shadows moved silently. No engines. No lights. Like living weapons floating through space. Dr. Chen looked at the beam design again. I think we built something we weren't supposed to understand." "You mean it's a weapon?" someone asked. Chen nodded. "No, it's more than that." He pointed at the alien code. "This is not just a machine." In the background, the signal played one last time. Only this time a second voice joined in. Calm, sad, ancient. "If they have awakened, protect them. Use what we left behind." Morgan whispered, "This was never for mining." Outside, the shadows moved closer. The research station went dark for 3 seconds. Then the beam core began to glow on its own, charging without orders. Cliffhanger ending. The stations. Alarm speaks for the last time in the episode. Energy core overload detected. Weapon status, armed, fade to black. Would you like me to write part 2? A cry from the stars next. Inside the silent halls of Helios 3, the glow from the beam core pulsed slowly blue, then white, then gold. Nobody touched it. Nobody dared. It was charging itself, and no one knew how to stop it. Dr. Lina Morgan stood frozen in the control room, eyes locked on the glowing core. "This shouldn't be possible," she whispered. Dr. Elias Chen shook his head. "It's not our machine anymore." The screen showed a rising energy count. Core charge at 41%, 52%, 68%, ... "Shut it down," Morgan shouted. "I can't," said Chen. "The override's gone. The controls. They're responding to something else." A technician ran in with a handheld tablet. "We just got a signal. It's not from Earth." The audio was weak, full of static, broken words. But there was no doubt what it was. It's a distress call. The voice was clear, not human, but familiar. "Solari, transmitting, requesting help, Grave One attacking. Systems down, shield failing." The Solari, Earth's oldest alien friends. A peaceful race. Artists, scientists, healers. They had shared knowledge with humans during Earth's early rise into space. Now they were under attack. "Where's the source?" Morgan asked. "A trilogy. It's coming from the Solari homeworld. Luray Prime." Another message followed. "Grave One swarm. Not extinct." "We were wrong. City's falling, please." The signal cut out. Silence. Morgan turned to the team. "We have to help them." "This station's not a warship," someone replied. "We're scientists." Dr. Chen stepped forward. "But we have something now. Something the Graviwan don't expect." He pointed toward the beam chamber. Morgan hesitated. "We don't know what that thing is." "We know what it did," Chen said. "It cut a moon in half in 1 second." He looked at her seriously. "And it charged itself after hearing their distress signal." Meanwhile, in orbit near Saturn, Earth's Central Fleet Command picked up the same message. Admiral Rains listened carefully. "The Solari helped us build half our tech," he said. "We owe them." But Earth had no battle fleet nearby. Only Helios 3 was close enough. And it was never meant for combat. Still, the Admiral gave the order. "Helios 3, use whatever it has. Save them." Back on the station, the energy core reached full charge. The lights dimmed. Then something strange happened. The hologram above the beam projector began to spin. Shapes formed, ancient letters glowing in the air. Not human, not machine. Alien script, soft and curved like Solari writing, but older. Dr. Chen recorded it. "This isn't a weapon," he said. "It's a message system." Morgan frowned. "Why would a mining beam be a messenger?" Chen stared at the letters. "'Cause it was never just a mining beam." Suddenly, the AI system flickered. The lights on the station turned red. A voice played from the COM system. "Female.com. Not human. This message is for the protectors. If the Gravuan have returned, then use what we left." Behind, everyone stood still. Another voice joined in male, this time. "The weapon will listen, but only when used to defend life." Morgan looked at the weapon charging quietly in the chamber, not glowing with rage, but with purpose. She turned to the crew. "I think this thing is alive." Outside the station, the shapes from Jupiter's ring were no longer hiding. 3 Grave One scout ships appeared in orbit, black like ash, long and jagged like claws. They moved without engines, sliding through space as if gravity followed them. Inside the station, the screens lit up again. Unidentified warships approaching. Power shields at 5%. The weapon pulsed once. A soft hum filled the air, and then it aimed on its own. "Target locked," the station AI reported. Morgan's eyes widened. "We didn't tell it to fire." Dr. Chen looked nervous. "Should we let it?" No one answered. They simply watched. The beam fired. No sound, just light. White, hot, endless light. The Gravuan scout ship blinked. Out of existence. No explosion, no wreckage. Just gone. The other two ships turned and fled. Everyone on the station stood in silence. Then the Solari signal came back. Faint, weak, but alive. We saw it. The sky lit up. Was that you? Morgan leaned close to the mic. No, she said quietly. It was something we accidentally built, and we're bringing it to you. Cliffhanger ending. The beam pulsed once more. But this time, a soft voice echoed from its core. Not human, not Solari. Destination, Luray Prime. Coordinates locked. Defense protocol ready. Fade to black. The research station Helios 3 no longer felt like a science lab. It felt like a ship preparing for war. In the beam chamber, the Superweapon's core pulsed like a heart. Bright, steady, alive. But no one knew who had built it. Not truly. Dr. Lina Morgan stared at the strange symbols floating above the beam. The alien writing didn't match any known language. Not even the Solari. Dr. Elias Chen ran translation algorithms. Nothing worked. But then he tried something. Strange. He didn't use logic. He used sound. He translated the glowing letters into musical notes, soft tones that rose and fell like a Solari song. The beam's core reacted. Flashed once, then revealed a new message. If you are reading this, then we have fallen. Morgan leaned forward. What is this? Chen whispered. It's not just a weapon. It's a message from someone. Who knew we would need it someday? The message continued. We left the seed behind, inside your code, your machines, your songs. You didn't build it alone. We helped. Morgan stepped back. This isn't human tech, she said. Chun nodded. And it's not Solari either. It's older. Much older. In the central archive, Morgan opened a locked file. Years ago, before the Terran Union, Earth had been visited by a Solari scientist named Talashan. She had helped humanity develop its first true AI systems. Then one day, she disappeared. No one knew where she went until now. Morgan found it, a secret entry in her logs. The Grave One will return. Humanity will face them, but not alone. The weapon will be built by accident, but it will be used by choice. Meanwhile, the AI on board Helios 3 spoke again. Long-range scans confirm Solari colony world Luray Prime is under siege. A new image appeared, cities burning, crystal towers collapsing, Solari ships in retreat. Earth had no war fleet nearby, only Helios 3 and its strange new weapon. Can the beam fire again? Morgan asked. Chen shook his head. It's cooling down. The power source isn't infinite. Morgan looked at the logs again. If this tech isn't human or Solari, where did Talashan get it? The AI answered for them. Unknown race, ancient, pre-collapse, identity lost, codename, the Architects. Outside the station. One of the fleeing Gravewind scouts. Returned, it hovered just beyond range, watching. Then it sent a signal, a warning. You carry forbidden light. That weapon should not exist. You were not meant to wake it. Should we respond? A technician asked. No, Morgan said quietly. They're afraid. They should be, Chen added. Suddenly, the beam core began glowing again, brighter than before. But this time, it didn't fire. Instead, it opened something. A new file. A map. Dozens of blinking stars. One marked in red. Luray Prime. Another in green Earth. But there were more. Far more. Each one marked with a symbol. A circle broken by fire. Morgan stared at it. What is this? Chen answered. A warning system. The AI confirmed all systems with Architect tech are now active. The Gravewind were never just hunting the Solari. They were hunting the ones who could remember. Morgan turned toward the window. Outside, the stars seemed closer, brighter. "We were never just mining," she said. "We were building a key. And now every lock is open." Cliffhanger. Ending the signal from the Gravuan ship returns. Final words before it vanishes. "We thought the architects were dead, but now we know they live in you." Fade to black. Would you like me to continue with part 4, The Last Stand at Ariane 4? The Terran research ship, Helios 3, moved through slipspace like a ghost. It wasn't fast. It wasn't built for war. But now it carried something far more powerful than speed. It carried a weapon older than memory, and a mission that could no longer wait. Luray Prime was already burning, but the real battle was happening above it, in orbit around the Solari moon. Orion 4. That moon held the last Solari command center. If it fell, all communication would die. 3 Gravuan hive ships circled the moon like wolves. They fired without mercy. Solari ships broke apart. Energy shields faded. Still the Solari fought. They knew Earth had sent help. But they didn't know if it would arrive in time. Inside Helios 3, Dr. Lina Morgan stood at the front of the command deck. The weapon was still cooling down. One shot had erased a Gravuan ship, but it had nearly drained the ancient core. Charge status, she asked. Dr. Chen frowned at the numbers. 38%. We need 9 to 5 to fire again. How long? At least 1 hour. They had only 20 minutes. Outside, the ship shook. Gravuan scout drones approaching. The AI warned. "We have no defense systems," said a technician. "Then we fly smart," Morgan replied. "Stay out of firing arcs." Suddenly, a message broke through. Silvery voice. Weak. Static. "This is Commander Elith of Orion 4. Shields gone, command falling." "Any response?" Morgan answered. "This is Earth, Helios 3. We're coming." "Do you carry the light?" Morgan looked at the glowing chamber. "Yes." There was a pause. "Then bring it fast." The station flew through wreckage, burning satellites, shattered crystal towers, pieces of Solari ships still glowing. They passed a Solari medical ship, drifting, broken in two. Then a Gravuan warship turned toward them, big, silent, black as night. It fired. The first blast ripped into Helios 3's rear engine. The lights flickered. The ship spun. Morgan gripped the rail. "Stabilize." "We lost control of the right thruster." The weapon core glowed, not to fire, but to shield. A golden wall of energy formed around the front of the ship. The second Gravuan shot hit it and bounced off. Everyone stared in shock. "The weapon is protecting us," Chen whispered. But Orion 4 was seconds from falling. Morgan looked at the maps. Time to charge. Still 42%. "Not enough," said Chen. "Then we distract them." The station turned sharply right at the biggest Gravuan ship. The enemy didn't expect it. They thought Helios 3 was a lab. But now it looked like a charging comet. It's a weapon core. Pulsed again, sending out a signal in all directions. Not a threat, a sound. A deep tone filled with emotion, grief, strength, memory. Solari ships heard it and turned toward the sound. They followed Earth into one last push. It's the battle. Above, Orion 4 exploded. Solari fighters lit up the dark sky. Gravuan ships shifted their focus. Helios 3 was glowing now, gold energy rippling across its hull. The Gravuan ship fired again. K-beam hit the station hard. Alarms screamed. Main engine damaged. Breach in lower ring. "Are we still flying?" Morgan shouted. "Barely." Chen stared at the weapon console. He looked at the energy readings, then at Morgan. "If we reroute the ship's core reactor into the beam chamber, it could blow the whole station," Morgan said. "Or it could give us just enough for one final shot." Morgan looked toward Orion 4. The last Solari city was falling. She didn't hesitate. "Do it!" Power surged into the beam core. The lights on the station went dark. Only the weapon glowed white-hot, trembling, alive. The Gravuan ship turned again. Too late, the beam fired. A wave of pure light cut through space, wide, silent, unstoppable. The Gravewind ship cracked. Like ice, it vanished. The shockwaves spread across the battlefield. The other two Gravewind ships stopped firing. For a moment, they hovered. Then they ran. They folded space and fled. Inside Helios 3, the station's power failed completely. Life support flickered. Everyone held their breath. Then the AI spoke. Beam core depleted. Emergency systems stable. Mission successful. A message came from the Siluri Command Center. This is Commander Elith of Orion 4. Earth, you have done more than save us. You have awakened something. Cliffhanger ending. In the quiet of deep space, something else heard the pulse of the weapon. Far beyond the stars, a signal answered. A single line. The architects are returning. Fade to black. Helios 3 drifted in orbit above Orion 4. Its lights were dim, its engines silent, but the galaxy was watching, across 1,000 screens. People replayed the moment Earth's science ship destroyed a Gravewind warship with a single pulse of light. Many were thankful, some were afraid. But one thing was now clear. Humans carried something ancient. And it could change everything. Inside the damaged ship, Dr. Lina Morgan stood in front of a cracked view panel. She could still see the remains of the Gravewind fleet, floating debris black like ash. Her hands trembled slightly, not from fear, but from what came next. Dr. Chen rushed in with a tablet. "We've received orders from Earth," he said. "The Gravewind are regrouping. A second wave is forming." Morgan nodded. "Where?" Chen looked down. "Earth, they're coming here now." A silence filled the room. The weapon, whatever it truly was, had only one charge left. The power core was failing. There wouldn't be another shot. Just one chance to use the weapon again. And two possible targets: fire now and save the last Solari outposts scattered near the edge of Gravewind space. Wait and defend Earth. Earth's leaders voted quickly. Hold the charge. Wait. Save our home. But not everyone agreed. Solari voices pleaded through the coms. They helped you rise. I gave you peace, medicine, stars. Now we need you. Commander Reyesa, acting pilot of Helios 3, listened quietly. She stood near the weapon chamber, staring into its white glow. She didn't wait for orders. Instead, she asked a question. To the weapon. Softly, what were you made to protect? The glow pulsed once. The console lit up. And then a voice, calm, gentle, ancient, spoke through the chamber. Life, not borders. Not flags. Reyes didn't speak again. She just touched the console and gave the command. Target Siluri colony belt. Fire. Across space, the last Solari outposts were surrounded by Gravewind warships. Families hid underground. Defense. Grids failed, then the sky changed. Light swept across the stars. No fire, no heat, just peace. The Gravewind ships vanished quietly, as if erased by time itself. Back on Helios 3, the weapon's light faded completely. Its core darkened. And for the first time since activation, the ship was silent. Truly silent. Admiral Rains appeared on the screen from Earth. "You've disobeyed orders," he said coldly. Commander Reyes looked him in the eye. "I followed the purpose." "There's no charge left," Rains snapped. "If they come to Earth next, we have nothing." Reyes said nothing. But Morgan stepped forward. "No," she said, "we have something better." In orbit around Orion 4, a strange object began to rise from the remains of the battle. It was not made by humans, not by Solari, not by Gravewind. It glowed softly, like a star being born. The AI voice of Helios 3 spoke again. A choice was made. And so, the second gift has awakened. Dr. Chen ran a scan. This isn't a weapon. What is it?" Morgan asked. He smiled slowly. "It's a ship." The new ship docked beside Helios 3. It looked alive, like crystal and code fused into one. No engines, no weapons. But it hovered silently, scanning the Terran station like it recognized its builders. Inside it, a console pulsed softly. On it, words appeared. You used power to protect others. K. Now you will be protected. Cliffhanger ending. Far beyond the stars, a Gravewan queen received news of the lost fleets. She did not scream. She simply turned to her generals and said, "They chose mercy. So now we give them none." Fade to black. The strange new ship hovered beside the damaged Helios 3. It made no sound. No light blinked. No engine hummed. Yet everyone on board could feel it, like a heartbeat in space. Commander Reyes stepped inside the airlock. The others followed. Dr. Lina Morgan, Dr. Chen, a technician, a guard. They entered slowly. No weapons. Drawn, only questions. The inside of the ship was nothing like metal. It was soft, warm, alive. Walls pulsed with a gentle light, and the air smelled like something familiar but forgotten, like home. Then a voice spoke from the center of the chamber. You were never meant to fight alone. A glowing map appeared around them, stars, planets, moving dots of light. It showed Earth, the Solari worlds, K, and hundreds of others. Some had been destroyed already, K, others were still burning. And one at the center of it all was blinking red, Gravewan Prime. The Gravewan were coming. Faster than expected, and Earth was in their path. Reyes touched the central console. Can you stop them? She asked. The ship answered, not by destruction, but by memory. Dr. Chen frowned. What does that mean? Another pulse? Another message. The first weapon was light. The second is truth. Suddenly, a burst of energy left the ship and traveled across space, a signal too fast to block. It reached Earth, Solari space, and even parts of Graven-controlled territory. It unlocked something. Hidden history. Lost files. Forgotten. Voices. People across the galaxy saw visions inside their minds. Inside their dreams, they saw the architects. Tall, graceful beings of light and crystal. They once filled the stars with peace. But they were betrayed by a fear-driven enemy who refused to share power. The Gravewan, they started the war. And erased the truth. Now that truth had returned. On Gravewan Prime, the Queen received the signal. She screamed. They remember. But it was too late. The galaxy had changed. Back on the living ship, Morgan stared at the star map. It had updated. Gravewan ships were no longer advancing. Some were stopping. Others were retreating. One even sent a message. We did not know. We were raised on lies. Reyes smiled. The weapon wasn't the beam. Morgan nodded. It was the story. The AI voice returned one last time. The true power is understanding. When you chose to protect instead of destroy, the final key was unlocked. Helios 3's systems powered back up, not with human energy, but with something older. The living ship docked with them. Completely. Two ships became one. A symbol, a promise. Earth sent a new message to the stars. We are not conquerors. We are not afraid. We are ready to protect. And across the galaxy, the signal spread. One clear message. We remember. Final scene. Commander Reyes stands on the bridge of the new hybrid ship. Dr. Chen reads data from new stars joining the network. Morgan looks out the window, watching Earth rise over Jupiter. Peace feels close, but not certain. Reyes speaks. Quietly, we didn't build a superweapon. We became one.